Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Guys, how you going? We're back. Do you like my 80s style haircut? It's actually 80s style guy's haircut nearly. Okay, anyway, let's not worry about that. Out to lunch, so finally. Hope all is well with you. Yes, I've just had a busy week. Pear, jelly and canned slices. You're our friends, peeling now, cook tomorrow. Oh, yum. And out to lunch said, if the police find Coke and Mary Jane in your car, don't they charge everyone unless someone fesses up to it? Charge all that are able to come in without going through security. Yeah, you'd think so. There's about 500 people that could have been in that area that they could drug test, but they haven't. I think we'd find out that a lot of people in the White House right now are probably, think of Kamala, right? She has to be on something. You can't be that stupid, really. Seriously. I don't know if you heard her talking about culture the other day. Culture is the way we feel about the things we feel today, and oh my God. Anyway, okay. So how you going out to lunch? David, how you going? Alex, how you going? Who else have we got in here? Alex, David, MJ, how you going? Dana, how you going? I am Kai, how you going? Sherry, how you going? Mrs. out to lunch, how you going? Who else have we got in here? That's it for now. Okay, let's go into some bookmarks. We have a lot of updates, okay? We've got Ray Epps saying he is going to be charged because of Tucker Carlson for his part in J6. Oh dear. Dr. Simon Godek said, look at this 1950s beach pic. Everyone fit as a fiddle. No keto, vegan or paleo diets. No gym memberships, no fancy fitness tech or wellness influencers. They also weren't drinking protein shakes or counting calories. So what went wrong? A thread. Let's have a look. Dietary changes. Processed foods are on every corner. Omega-6 rich seed oils and sugars. A horrible combination. Overwork our livers and ramp up fat storage. Grandma's home cooked meals are now a rare treat. We've traded real food for convenience. Yeah, not me. He said, number 2, demonisation of saturated fats. Since the 60s, it was claimed that saturated fats caused heart attacks. Although we've been nourished by lard and butter for thousands of years, these good fats were replaced with inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. Trust the science, they said. All those remember those seed oils? And what we found out about them? We've got shortening, butter. Oh, butter's on the way down. Lard is on the way down. Margarine is on the way up. And beef tallow is way down here. Look, we should be eating more of the things that are going down. Am I saying that right? Yep. Than the things going up. Margarine specifically, if you've seen how it's made, it actually comes out grey and they have to dye it yellow to get the yellow colour because you wouldn't eat it otherwise. Childhood vaccines. I used to eat margarine. I used to be dead set against butter because I didn't like the taste of it. And then when I found that out, I switched over to butter and haven't looked back since. Childhood jabs. While children in the 50s received only 5 doses of jabs, by 2019 the number had risen to 72. And the trend is rising. Each one has an impact on the microbiome, which likely leads to significant long-term physical and psychological consequences. This is their schedule now. Dear God. No wonder. Lack of exercise. Before exercise got labelled as some far-right gig, people were already moving less and sitting more. As we've shifted towards a service-based society and due to the rise of big tech, we're now mostly parked behind screens. More scrolling, less strolling. Lack of nutrients. Topsoil depletion and removal mean that crops are coming up short on nutrients. To get the same vitamins from one head of lettuce 100 years ago, you need to eat about 10 heads now. If your body's starved of nutrients, you want to eat more. A vicious cycle. The average mineral content of calcium, magnesium and iron in cabbage, lettuce, tomatoes and spinach has dropped 80-90% between 1914 and 2018. This is another thing I've been saying. The nutrients in our food are not what our grandparents had. We don't have the nutrients. Environmental toxins. Glyphosate-based herbicides like Roundup can cause, I can't even pronounce that, dysbiosis, cancers and many other diseases. For instance, in almost 100% of soy crops, glyphosate residues can be found, which then enter our food chain. It's seriously concerning. So what can you do? Eat saturated fats and cut out seed oils. Limit carbs and sugars. Grow your own food in your self-made compost. Exercise at least 3 times a week, which I've been going about 6. Limit your screen time, which I've been doing this week. Enjoy the sun as much as possible, which I've also been doing this week. Read the book Turtles All the Way Down. Never heard of it. It seems to me like a sick society is being encouraged because only sick people are dependent on Big Pharma as heroin addicts are on the needle. Simon says, do what your great-grandmother would have done. Follow me for more health advice and good dose of common sense. I do follow you. Luke said any right-wing, you know who Luke Radowski is from We Are Change. Only right-wing racists like you would want to take away my precious seed oils and high fructose corn syrup from me. How dare you? He's joking, of course. But that is true. What we look at as food is not necessarily food anymore. Okay, inversionism said was the polio epidemic really just an epidemic of DDT poisoning perpetuated by actual Nazis in concert with the Rockefeller Foundation to justify the beginning of the mass jab program that now consumes America and the rest of the world? Did you know there's a connection between the polio epidemic and Operation Paperclip, where the US brought over numerous Nazi scientists, many eugenics, and installed them in our scientific institutions, including the CDC? That's where we went wrong. All of us. I mean, we follow the same things, pretty much, as the US. Before we had the CDC, we had a program called NMEP, the National Malaria Eradication Program, that was launched in 1947. At this same time, we had Operation Paperclip between 1945 and 1959. Several of these Nazi scientists were in this program, and their first order of business was going around the country mass spraying DDT everywhere to eliminate malaria, including directly on children. They sprayed it on literally everything, put it in the wallpaper, milk, meat, and furniture, everywhere. As soon as mass spraying and application of DDT into everything began, a massive epidemic of polio symptoms began to explode. As soon as DDT was phased out, polio began to drop. At the same time, Salk was working on his vaccine, research connecting polio to a virus where he blended up the nervous system with a child with polio and then injected it directly into monkey brains to claim viral causality. Imagine thinking that's good science. Coincidentally, the jab release coincided perfectly with the removal of DDT and downturn of polio, so medical elites were able to claim that polio was eradicated by the jab. And not because we stopped mass intentional poisoning of people with the nervous system toxin that causes the exact same symptoms. Almost as if that was entirely the plan and manufactured. I guess it's all just one big coincidence. Operation Paperclip, the secret intelligence program that brought Nazi scientists to America. And there's links here for you to read, anyone. I might share this one. DDT, a case study in scientific fraud by J. Gordon Edward, PhD. Genus Concept said, I have a question. If DDT caused polio, why did the jab itself cause further polio outbreaks? If the virus present to clear up the poisoning, or is DDT something similar causing paralysis in the jab and diagnosed as polio? It can be detected in the stool. Polio is injury to the spinal cord, lesions on the spinal cord essentially. Numerous things can cause that, including the injection or consumption of toxic heavy metals that increase gut permeability and dysbiosis, leading to intestinal contents leaking into the lymph and nervous system. Read The Moth in the Eye and Lung if you want to learn the full history of this. Arsenic, mercury, lead and numerous other pesticides can cause the same injuries. Sounds like they're trying to keep people sick. Okay, where was I? I'm going to share this as well. I'm going to share them all actually. Oh, well, the ones that I like. Oh dear. Rebecca Barnett said unvaxxed Australian nurses are being issued a warm invitation to reapply for the jobs they were sacked from for not submitting to a novel medical procedure. A warm invitation? I'm still trying to pull the knife out of my back. Via Nurses for Medical Freedom Instagram, we are pleased to announce that in response to statewide changes, such and such will no longer require the jab for employment, effective July 7th, 2023. With that, we would like to extend you a warm invitation to rejoin us on our journey forward. How many are going to go for that? I don't know, I'd be questioning everything right now. And wokeness. The right is on the rise across Europe. Finland just formed its most right-wing government in history. Sweden's anti-immigration party gained power in the government for the first time ever. Anti-WEF Farmer Party pulls a stunning upset in the Netherlands. Right-wing populists just won seats in the Greek parliament last month. Right-wing AfD surges in Germany after winning its first local election. Spain's hard-right Vox is on track to join a coalition government after next week's election. Right nationalists are in charge of Italy, Poland and Hungary. Le Pen's party is surging in France. For those who think we're not winning. I'm going to share that one too. John Adams said, breaking at 5 p.m. today, DFA analyst and I will release our new YouTube video asking the question of whether Albo MP is the Black Hand of Australia. The Black Hand is a reference to the Italian mafia. We have bombshell revelations coming. I should have watched that. Okay, now I'm going to have to go and search for that after I finished here. Snarkish Dano said 1,000,000% accurate. And if you weren't aware of this, it's time to do some digging. The war on drugs was actually the CIA taking control of the cartels, and where there is drug trafficking, you also have arms running and human trafficking. They all go hand in hand. Ergo, the CIA is in charge of all the trafficking from South America at the very least, if not most of the world. Allegedly, apparently, okay, evil it is. Joe Rambo said, how would imported drugs like coke and opiates be more accessible in this country than marijuana if it wasn't our own government importing it? The war on drugs surface level was a farce. The CIA was responsible for trafficking and helped to enslave the American population, allegedly, through the drug sales and incarceration to fund secret wars, secret missions, launder money, secrets, all at the expense of our taxes and our lives. Once we realise this, we will be slaves to their system no more. The original post was deleted. Punish Dem 1776, but I'm not stopping, period. There is a video here. Yeah, I agree. I do. From what I've seen, it's exactly what's going on. Allegedly. I'll share that one too. Okay, I meme, therefore I am, said since the coke in the White House belonged to nobody, there are only two conclusions. The Secret Service under Kimberly Cheadle is incompetent for allowing nobody to sneak drugs into the White House, or the FBI under Christopher Wray sucks at their job since they couldn't track from the security tapes who brought the coke into the White House, and they wonder why the public no longer trusts letter agencies, three-letter agencies. True. Ariel said deal or no deal. Did Mel Gibson accept one? Did John Mappin accept one? Did Mark Wahlberg accept one? Did Lindsey Graham accept one? Did Elon Musk accept one? Did Jack Dorsey accept one? Did Chris Tucker accept one? Did Katie Hobbs accept one? Did Carlos Slim accept one? If you followed the cue board, this will make sense to you. Deal or no deal? Who accepted a deal? Brock Riddick said David Hogg. Adam Lands, are ready for this one? What do you reckon? Computer generated type image of this with more like wider eyes and interesting, isn't it? I don't know, just looked very interesting to me. The Punisher is asking question, what if Ray was put in place simply to discredit the FBI so much towards their own destruction? Thoughts? Actually, I'm going to share that one because that's interesting. So is this one. That's what I was thinking. To pull it down, maybe? That looks like it. That's what's happening. Rosetta Diaz said Australia needs to see this movie. Why is the industry determined we can't? Well, in Australia we can't see this movie. It's not showing anywhere. If anyone knows, anyone who's in Australia knows where this is being shown, can you please tell me so I can go and watch it? I'm going to cry the whole way through it. I don't really want to watch it, but I'm going to because we need to know. And I'll be crying. I'll have to take box tissues with me. Gillian Fennell said, can someone please explain to me why I'd need to connect my washing machine to the internet? Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not. This is how they control people. Smart homes, smart devices, they all start connecting. Don't do it. Don't connect it to the internet. And why they do it, like, I know why they're doing it, Internet of Things. Why would you though? I want to go back to the old, you know, the old washing machines used to last a very long time. You could have the same washing machine for 50 years or more, same fridge for 50 years or more, and now that they're getting smarter, they're not lasting as long. Interesting that. The Punisher said, prove me wrong. Joe Biden did not legitimately win. The jabs are not safe. Planned Parenthood is depopulation. Gun control is people control. Mainstream media is nothing but propaganda and lies. Big Pharma is a business, which they are. Hollywood is an indoctrination to push Satanism. LGBTQ is designed to destroy the masculinity of our nation. Our government is nothing more than criminal organisation. Big tech fears our knowledge and reach on social media. The CIA spies on innocent Americans more than actual terrorists. The FBI covers up crimes rather than investigating them. Endless wars is simply to profit the military-industrial complex rather than defend our nation. Our education systems become nothing more than to indoctrinate our youth with lies. BLM doesn't give a damn about black lives. Antifa is actually fascist, which is Antifa, which is short for anti-fascist. They're actually fascist. Law enforcement is a tyrannical version of public safety. Sorry, guys. Television, tell-a-vision, or tell-I-vision, is a form of MK Ultra. Disney is the largest grooming operation in the world. All of history has been altered to keep you ignorant from the true war we're in. We've been poisoned through chemicals, FDA fluoride and chemicals for decades, and the Illuminati is very real. Michelle Obama's man. National security was a term created to keep information from the public. The term conspiracy theorist was created by the CIA to discredit anyone seeking the truth. Depopulation is real and well documented. CERN seeks to disprove God and awaken the light bearer Lucifer. The Vatican is Babylon, and we are their greatest fear. I don't know, yeah. Oh, it's interesting, but that is mostly true. Wayne Dupre said first time ever. Chris Ray under oath says Ray Epps was not an FBI agent. Then what was he? Okay, then is he a CIA agent? Look, someone needs to ask the right question here. Is he in any of the intelligence agencies? Has he been paid by any intelligence agencies? Is he an informant for any intelligence agencies? The people deserve an answer. And now that he may be being charged because of, he's blaming Tucker Carlson, because Tucker let out the footage, which actually shows what Ray Epps was doing, which was calling for everyone to go to the Capitol. This is insane. Polybuzz said, oh, this is the same jab that we can't function as a society without. Now people are being told to destroy the data records of recording who is jabbed. How very interesting. 7 News Melbourne said bosses are being told to destroy the jab data collected about their staff. WorkSafe says regulations have expired today and employers have just 30 days to dispose of the personal information. This is a warning to companies. Quick, hide the evidence. That's what it seems like. Okay, Melinda Richards said Australia has provided over $710 million in military aid to Ukraine. That's just Australia alone. Not to mention what the US and the UK have given to the Ukraine. Brian Cates, political columnist, said, understand what I'm saying here, read it carefully, don't just jump to react. The board was a guide, this thing here, okay, hang on, let me highlight, was a guide that asked questions and led millions of people to begin digging into certain subjects that aligned with the Great Awakening. Jeffrey Epstein who was going to his sick island. 2, the Federal Reserve and the central banks. 3, human trafficking and, child as well. 4, the sinking of the Titanic and creation of the Fed. 5, the bloodline families that run everything from behind the scenes that also happen to be fake Jews and Satan-worshipping pedos. 6, how a shadowy cabal runs over a dozen Western governments. 7, how their total control of fake news and social media gave them iron-fisted narrative control that could not be challenged. 8, and once we broke that iron-fisted narrative control of theirs, they would be destroyed because we are the news now. Number 9, the MIC and how these ghouls have used their narrative control to lie and trick the US into countless wars since they shot JFK. Us people got asking, this board got people asking the right questions about the right subject. You cannot at this stage claim to me that they played no role in the Great Awakening, or if it did, it was a very negative role and a very bad thing. This board here rarely provided answers. What they did was use the Socratic method of asking questions to provoke interest and ask as a finger pointing to something. It could point, but people had to go and look for themselves. And when they looked, they did not find lies. They were not tricked. They found the truth. And the truth about the reality of the world we actually live began to spread. And their false matrix illusionary world began to fade away. Carly Bones said, whoa. Okay, let's have a listen.
One could say that they're also racist, but they don't go after those. Only the QAnon. Now, if I, by way of analogy,
about 1 minute remaining. Yeah.
If I were the Apostle Saul and I'm a Pharisee, I'm going to go after the Christians. I'm going to take them down. Now remove Christians and let's make it QAnon. I'm going to destroy them because the Romans told me they're evil. I'm going to destroy them because my own church staff, my fellow Pharisees said evil. I'm going to take them out. And then you find out that it's not QAnon, it's Q and Anons. And Q puts out a question, and you're not allowed to ask questions anymore. Not allowed to. And the Anons, they look it all up. And they start looking and investigating this stuff. I never knew about them while I was doing this movie, Sound of Freedom. It has nothing to do with our film. It's really interesting that they pointed to this immediately and said, that guy's one of them, he's bad. I'll tell you the rest after that. Right.
Jim, we have to have you back soon. I'm sorry we're out of time. Angel.com/Jim. Jim,
There you go. He made that film before the board even started. So, there you go. And it did. That's all it did, was ask questions. It got everybody looking. It did point some articles which people had to dig into and have a look and then dig further, which gave us a lot of answers that we didn't have before. Okay, the Australian Jewish Association. I think I told these people, like I said, stay out of it unless you're Australian, but if they're Australian, which Australian Jewish Association probably means they are Australian. I don't know. The Voice. Yes campaign offers grants to community groups. Apparently Labor MPs are circulating an offer, some are calling it a bribe, for community groups to become active, which we know, in campaigning for a yes vote in the forthcoming Voice referendum. As with sporting organisations and corporates, perhaps this is another example, albeit on a smaller scale, of follow the money principle. Needless to say, AJA will not be applying. Okay, so the Australian Jewish Association is not applying for the money for the Yes campaign. They don't want a bar of it. That's a good thing. Melinda Richards said there's been a string of planned arson attacks across Melbourne as part of gang rivalry and not a policeman in sight. Yet in 2020, people couldn't even walk out of their homes without Victorian police jumping all over them. They were literally everywhere. Priorities? I seen something interesting a couple of days ago. First, I was trying to get the grandchildren home. I was driving them home. And it took me 35 to 45 minutes just to get out of the suburb that I'm in. And I was listening to the radio and I heard a news break come on, and they said that someone had stolen a car from down the mountain and driven it up to Katoomba, and the police shot the windscreen out. Anyway, I ended up driving past it. I saw the car. Took me a long time to get down to to get the grandchildren back home again, I'll tell you that. Sister Barbara Reen, but yeah, that's like things in Victoria, it's worse, I think. Not a policeman in sight. At least there were policemen up here. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but you know, they shot there was about three or four bullet holes in the windscreen of the car. Sister Barbara Reen said this sums it up completely. That was actually posted by Anthony Mundine. These two countries currently stand in the way of the NWO agenda. Australia is still sovereign because of our land, because our land was never bought or sold. It remains stolen. How will the government corporation take away its sovereignty? The Voice. By changing the constitution, which would cede the sovereignty of the land to legal ownership of the Australian government. The Voice is nothing more than a way for the government to legally own the land and remove our sovereignty. Vote No Australia. It's still going on. The vote no, the vote for the Voice will be going until I think it's October when it's going to be voted on. And who thinks they're going to steal it anyway? Theo Fleury said the world has been infiltrated by a bunch of criminals who disguise themselves as politicians. Another thing I've said. We've got the worst of the worst criminals in charge. Trudeau has laundered over $1 trillion and nobody's said a word. The pandemic was used as a vehicle for the laundering of taxpayers' money all over the world. Now they're following that up with the war in Ukraine, another scam called climate change. Had enough yet? Uncle? I don't know, 80 years ago they tried the same shit, and now they are with the same script back with a vengeance. They want it all, but just like the last time, this will be another failed attempt, because communism is forever a failed ideology. Marxism is a forever failed ideology. Socialism is a failed ideology. They all lead to mass death, which is what we are seeing today. Will you fight for your children and their future, or will you voluntarily step onto the boxcar without saying a word? What are you afraid of at this point? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Your kids will thank you for it. It has. The worst of the worst criminals are running things. Malcolm Roberts said fault 100% federal and state governments. High electricity bills due entirely to Liberal, National and Labor Greens climate and energy laws pushing UNWEF policies. Sorry guys, my nose is just a little bit cold. It's not as cold as normal here. Still a little bit cold. My nose is running. Stop running. Okay. High electricity bills. Yep, okay, I read that bit. Lib Nats introduced every major climate and energy policy when in government. Labor Greens follow and turbocharge those same policies. Stop family suffering, dump the UNWF policies and vote One Nation. That's all anyone has to do. They've been fighting for us since the 90s. One Nation, Pauline Hanson. I've been watching. DC Drano said, breaking. Oh my goodness. FBI Director Wray confirms Joe Biden is under criminal investigation for Ukrainian bribes by the US Attorney in Delaware, then tries to backpedal after realising what he disclosed. How is this not front page news?
Did Joe Biden take payments from Burisma or any other foreign companies as Vice President, President, or private citizen Biden?
As you may know, there is an ongoing investigation being led by the U.S. Attorney in Delaware, Mr. Weiss, appointed by President Trump in the last administration, that our Baltimore field office is working with, and I would refer you to him as to what, if anything, can be shared.
So the president is under investigation.
I'm not going to confirm or speak to who is or isn't under investigation for what. I'm simply going to tell you.
So he's not under investigation?
I didn't. Mr. Weiss, appointed by President Trump in the last administration, that our Baltimore field office is working with, and I would refer you to him as to what, if anything, can be shared.
So the president is under,
And he had to say, no, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. Shazzy James said Linda Burney has failed as Indigenous Minister, couldn't answer the questions in Albany. Why does she still have a job? Vote no to this divisive voice. Noongar leader lets rip at new heritage regime. An Indigenous leader has claimed the state's new Aboriginal heritage laws are dividing our country and dividing our people during a visit to Albany by the Minister for Indigenous Australians, Linda Burney. Waggle Cape, Southern Noongar Aboriginal Corporation Chair, Janice, pictured far left, said the WA laws, which came into effect on July the 1st, were creating a lot of confusion in the community. I'm not just saying the Aboriginal community, I'm talking about the community in general, she said. What it is doing is dividing our country and dividing our people here in WA. Australia wasn't built on that, and we need to sit down and respect each other. Janine said positive outcomes could emerge from the Act and that people should gather more information on the legislation. Ms. Burney was in Albany for the first time to promote the Yes campaign, the upcoming Voice referendum, but she was unable to specify how the Voice would help Indigenous people in the Great Southern, and only provided examples of more general issues, which is all they can ever do. Craig Kelly said, break 'em up. Facebook have demonstrated they're a threat to democracy. They have imitated the government, censored the proceedings of the Australian Federal Parliament, and censored and deplatformed Australian politicians for fighting against the globalist agenda. The Australian government should be introducing laws to prevent this rogue organisation subverting democracy and suppressing free speech. But instead, Albanese is planning to work closer with Facebook to get Facebook to censor anything government bureaucrats deem as misinformation. Already. Facebook make J.D. Rockefeller of Standard Oil look like an angel. Facebook should be broken up just like Standard Oil was in the 1910s. Come on, JFK Jr., Trump and DeSantis, take a leaf out of Teddy Roosevelt's book. Facebook deliberately caused havoc in Australia to influence new law, whistleblowers say. When Facebook blocked news pages last year to preempt Australian legislation that would force it to pay for content, it also took down hospitals, emergency services and charities. The company said that was inadvertent. Whistleblowers allege it was a negotiating tactic. Look, Facebook are doing our government's job for them. And you know our government asked all the tech companies to do this, so who's to blame? They're both. Hand in hand. Alex Clark said there's a growing movement amongst conservative young men that believe women are such a lost cause it would be gay to have sex with them. What? They're encouraging each other to get vasectomies so as not to procreate because marriage isn't worth it. They think romance is simping. Oh, yes. It's called the black pill, and it's just as destructive as third wave feminism. Investigate it below. Okay, there is a movement, and I've noticed this on the Whatever podcast. A lot of the commenters, if any guy likes a girl, he's simping. If you're a girl that's a traditional girl, you're a pick me. I don't even know. Anyway, that's more divisive in the community, in any community, in all communities. And they're, you know, I can see this happening. So it's gone beyond the red pill. When you take the black pill, that's like, it's extreme, okay? The red pill is waking up, but the black pill is a bit extreme. Like a nihilistic view of things. Like there is no hope, there's never going to be any hope, and that's it. Don't ever take that view. Always have hope. Sky News Australia said Green Senator Maureen whatever, is planning to clear a swath of native bushland around her investment property on the New South Wales north coast to make way for 3 luxury townhouses. This is a Green Senator. The ones who say you can't chop down trees. And yet she wants to do that. Wall Street Apes said the CIA is on record saying one of the best ways to make people disappear and get away with it is throwing them off a building. Just prior to arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell, Hollywood producer and longtime friend of Jeffrey Epstein and Bill and Hillary Clinton, Steve Bing, is alleged to have thrown himself off his posh Los Angeles, California apartment building. Of course, this alleged suicide is claimed to have been due to depression. Anyone who threatens to speak out about the elite's trafficking racket is murdered. Former President Bill Clinton tweeted, "I love Steve Bing very much. He had a big heart and he was willing to do anything he could for the people and causes he believed in. I will miss him and his enthusiasm more than I can say, and hope he's finally found peace." Vanity Fair produced an article about billionaire pedophile and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, in which they mentioned Bing as being part of Epstein's Lolita Express circle. Just a coincidence? Falls off the 27th floor of a building. Yeah, sure. Was he Clinton-sided? Arkan-sided? Was that what happened to Epstein? It was allegedly Arkan-sided, Clinton-sided, but I don't think he's dead. New York Times says Tucker Carlson repeatedly endorsed a conspiracy theory about an Arizona man inciting January 6th. He's on videotape doing it, you idiots. New York Times. Hello. Assault on the Capitol. Now lawyers representing Ray Epps and his wife are proceeding with plans to sue Fox News for defamation. Why not sue Fox News? Everyone else is. Have you noticed that? It's like Fox News are just giving away all their money to the left. I don't know. Money laundering under the guise of being sued, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Dave Davos said, "We're told that these proud Aboriginal men and women, we are told these are proud Aboriginal men and women. They tell us we should vote yes. I say they're BS artists and grifters who want taxpayers' money as well as unfair privilege and advantage. I say vote no. Australia. Says she's Aboriginal. Says he's Aboriginal. Says she's Aboriginal. Says she's Aboriginal. I want to see their ancestry, DNA ancestry. Charlie Kirk said, yes, demons absolutely prowl the streets of Hollywood. The entire industry is beholden to darkness, sex and exploitation. Pedo has always been rumoured and widespread about for years, now only after Mel Gibson's mission to expose it, Disney's not-so-secret groomer agenda, and the Sound of Freedom's surprise success, are normal, decent Americans finally taking this seriously? But far too much of it was actually about normalising everyday interactions, thoughts and ideologies in children. For decades, these creeps have worked to erode traditional values by creating colourful, playful and sterilised imagery that sexualises children. They made it look innocent when in fact innocence is what they destroy. America is just now waking up to an evil agenda that's been hiding in plain sight for years. Pride 2023 was just the beginning of the lights turning on across America. Keep going, guys. Rise Melbourne said, Australia boom. Australia Post confirms it will not go cashless after unprecedented public outrage. Yay! Who said people don't have any power? Oh, good stuff. So happy about that. Keep using cash. C-Bucks rule. Dear trans people, did you notice how women didn't counter-protest your march? Did you notice how we didn't disturb your speeches even when you threatened us with physical violence? We let you and your events be even when we strongly disagreed with you. Yet when we gather, you're there waiting to harass us, threaten violence on us, assault us, spit on us and disrupt our speeches. We don't even threaten you with violence. What you call violence is anyone not participating in your mental illness delusions. But what actual violence is what you actually do to women and lesbians who don't subscribe to your beliefs. Tell me, how do you still think you're the good guys in this story? If a man who'd previously been arrested for attempted murder amongst other things was leading a speech for a movement I wanted to support and told me to punch people who didn't agree with me, I wouldn't cheer or applaud. I would seriously consider if I was still on the right side. Why aren't you? It's all feelings, there's no logic in it, that's why. Dr. Kex said forgotten. 9/11 video. Boom, boom, boom. Let's have a little look at this.
Yeah, here's one of the guys who can tell you I'm okay, all right? Here, hold on. You want to call your mother or something?
You gotta get back from here.
I know that, all right.
Get back.
All right? Don't worry about me. You need to make calls right now. All right.
Hours after the attack, many smaller explosions rumbled through downtown.
Because once the tower fell, you heard boom, 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 boom.
And we heard this boom, boom, boom.
They were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom. All the way down. So it's like boom, 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 like that.
And then it started to sound like firecrackers. Crack, 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 crack. And we looked up, and the second tower was coming down.
There were numerous secondary explosions taking place in that building. There were continuous explosions.
She's been there a long time.
Arthur Del Bianco is one of the lucky few, able to tell a tale of survival from a hospital bed.
All of a sudden, it was like bang, 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 like bullet shots. And then all of a sudden, 3 tremendous...
Nice one, Twitter.
And then all of a sudden, 3 tremendous explosions. And everything started coming down.
Del Bianco was at work in the doomed trade towers when they were attacked.
The force just pushed us to the ground. We were pushed up against marble slabs and other people and glass and the smoke. We were buried in that stuff.
He made it out with a broken leg and today was reunited with his wife.
We're hearing a number of large booms coming from that area. We can only guess what is going on.
I got an eyewitness who said there was an explosion on floor 7-8. 7-8. We just had another explosion. Warren Street because of the secondary explosion. We've got numerous people covered with dust from the secondary explosion. And we got another explosion on the tower, 1013. 1013 down 2 has had a major explosion and what appears to be a complete collapse surrounding the entire area. Who's involved in the secondary explosion?
And the lobby looked as though a bomb had exploded there. All the glass was taken out. There were 10-foot by 10-foot marble panels that were once walls. They were loose from the wall of the Trade Center.
I went around by the freight elevator and I could see it was just blown. It was just a giant 30th floor. We hear another explosion.
I think a bomb went off in the lobby first, then a plane hit the building. But then another plane hit the other building. But when I was coming through the doors on the other side of the Trade Center, something, either they blew the lobby up or something, because it blew the glass out of the doors and knocked us all down, and I got smoke and everything on me. I just feel a little shook up because I got blasted, so I'm just trying to, I want a drink of water. They don't have any water though. So.
Can you tell me what happened? What'd you see?
I saw windows coming out of the building and the ceiling falling on the floor where I was walking. That's when we started up heading for the exit. And
then we got downstairs.
We got to the fourth floor from 82nd floor.
And all of a sudden it was this big explosion. I don't know.
And everything went
just like what you just seen. That's what we went through before we came out of the building. Then when we get out the building, then another smoke cloud came. Better go for that smoke cloud. Mom, I just want you to know I'm all right.
The ladies that are with me were in the World Trade Center in the first building and escaped through the lobby, where they report they believe there was a bomb in the lobby.
We ran down the steps to the lobby. There was no lobby. Everything was torn up. And even the turnstile was burnt and was sticking up, and they just told us to run.
My boss ran out of the office. He said one thing, run. Everybody just ran. And we ran down the stairs. They told us to come back up the stairs. And we were like, come back up the stairs, are you crazy? So we continued down the stairs. We came outside in the lobby. There was no lobby. The lobby was totally gone.
Did you see other people?
People. There was a woman there with her face blown off. And as we were coming out, we passed the lobby. There was no lobby. So I believe the bomb hit the lobby first, and a couple of seconds in the first plane.
Yeah, hi. I am just about between 5 and 10 blocks north of the actual site of where those two towers have come down. We're obviously having a bit of trouble right now maintaining our location because we just heard one more explosion. That's about the fourth one we've heard. The police are telling us they're either car bombs or they are simply cars that have overheated so much that they're exploding. But every time one of those happens, there's a flurry of activity.
Interesting, isn't it? We haven't been told the truth about a lot of things. Kim.com said Pentagon, the war's been a strategic failure for Ukraine. Press, you mean Russia. Pentagon, I'm sorry, excuse me, a strategic failure for Ukraine. It happens when you always hear behind closed doors how bad the US proxy war is going for Ukraine. Let's have a listen.
A few things. So I will say, with respect to your first question, we believe the war has been a strategic failure for Ukraine. The Secretary spoke to this in a speech he gave in Helsinki last month, I believe it was. What's that? I'm sorry, a strategic failure for Ukraine. Thank you for the correction. Which is, I need more than one correction today. This is the first time at the podium for a week. I'm apparently a little rusty. A few things.
He still said it. Interesting, isn't it? It's falling apart on them, you can see it. Raymond said when your narrative and condensation trails suddenly falls apart. Look, if they were condensation trails, they wouldn't do this, what this thing's about to do. Just stop like that. And condensation trails do not do this. Oh, they do not form. Hang on. They don't form massive clouds. Condensation trails normally disappear within minutes behind the plane. Not minutes, seconds actually. These things spread out and make a huge mess of the skies. We are deliberately being sprayed with something. Elijah Schaefer said this is one of the funniest clips, I almost threw up. Chuck said white man took the scientists and the alchemists from Africa. This is her reasoning for why black people have a lower average IQ. Oh, this is fresh and fit. It's like the Whatever podcast, but worse, apparently, I don't know.
When y'all got us from Africa, you got us. You got the greats. You got the scientists. You got the alchemists. You got all the greats. What y'all thought was great. What y'all thought were what. Right. And when I say y'all, I mean your ancestors. You feel me? So what y'all thought was great. Y'all scooped us up. Y'all got the greats, right? And then y'all shipped us exactly, right? And so it's genetic. Everything you got is from us. White come from black. Right. If you don't know, I'm just saying, y'all just like something that God created because he has a sense of humor. So,
but see, that's the most hateful statement that's been said.
And it's okay. It's okay if you feel that way. When y'all got us from Africa, you got us. You got the greats. You got the scientists.
That's
you got
the again. Oh my goodness, that was actually funny. Sorry. So okay, when they brought the black people into America, they brought the scientists and the. Okay. Daniel said nothing green ever works. Okay, wind turbines unable to be transported to their sites in New South Wales. A bridge and a railway underpass will have to be demolished or bypassed at a cost of upwards of $340 million. Look, that's another money laundering thing. To give trucks transporting massive wind turbines access to new renewable energy zones in country New South Wales. Don't put it in the country. It looks ugly as. No. Oh my goodness. Angry Auntie at Vote No said the argument is because the standard fee for a smoking ceremony is $2,000. And that's over the two Aboriginals who were arguing which one got to do the smoking ceremony. Because they get money for it. Benny Johnson said, did you know that in June of 1988, Hunter Biden was arrested on the Jersey Shore on drug charges for possession of a controlled substance? He was only 18 years old. 1 year later, Joe Biden delivered his famous speech in the Senate to pass the harshest crack laws in the country and lock up hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of young black men. If you had a quarter size of crack or more, Joe Biden would send you to jail for no less than 5 years, no probation. While his father was pushing for the incarceration of drug offenders, Hunter's record was expunged and his arrest was kept hidden. Did you know that? No, he's not clean now. You can tell he was peeking at that video that I showed you a couple of live streams ago, I think, where he was on the veranda of the White House on the balcony. Off his face. Jules Jones said we've got some major drama surrounding Hunter Biden's plea hearing. Rumour has it the Justice Department is contemplating delaying the whole shebang due to a massive whirlwind of allegations from whistleblowers. They're even claiming that AG Merrick Garland lied to Congress about a criminal tax probe. Here's the scoop. Delaware's federal judge is set up to decide whether to accept Hunter Biden's plea deal on January 26. But hold your horses because the DOJ is considering putting a pause on finalising the deal. Republicans have been up in arms, calling it nothing more than a slap on the wrist. They want justice, folks. Now things are getting spicy. Some big shots are alleging that Attorney General Merrick Garland fibbed to Congress about the Biden criminal probe. Yikes. AG Garland told the Senate that Weiss, I don't know, had all the powers to go after Hunter for crimes across the country, but IRS investigators are singing a different tune. They told Congress that Weiss claimed that he was blocked by Biden-appointed prosecutors in DC and Los Angeles from pursuing felony tax charges. Talk about a can of worms. The whistleblowers are demanding answers and they're convinced that US Attorney Weiss, office is holding the key to the truth. They believe there are records out there that will back up their claims. The Heritage Foundation aren't messing around either. They filed a lawsuit and the judge in charge, Dabney Friedrich, has ordered the DOJ to respond with legal arguments by the 10th of July, which is now passed. Judge Howell is raising some eyebrows too. She doesn't buy into the whole no prison, non-felony charges deal and thinks it's just a sneaky way of granting Hunter Biden a backdoor pardon. Uh-oh. According to her, they're trying to let him off easy while ignoring all the bombshell whistleblower testimonies and the sketchy business dealings of the Biden family. Spilling the tea, she is. But wait, there's more. Well, there's always more, isn't there? Hunter Biden's lawyer, Chris Clark, insists that this deal shows his client is taking responsibility. Sure, Chris, sure. He claims Hunter is owning up to 2 instances of failing to pay taxes on time. In a statement, Chris expressed that Hunter understands the importance of taking responsibility for those mistakes made during a time of turmoil and addiction. He's ready to turn his life around and move forward. We'll see about that. Folks, buckle up and stay tuned because this Hunter Biden saga is far from over. Keep your popcorn ready. We're in for a wild ride. It's going to get crazy. Joe Rogan said being healthy is far right. Holy fork. MSNBC said the far right's obsession with fitness is going digital. Apparently the far right are obsessed with fitness. I was a lefty when I started aerobics many years ago. Doesn't make sense. Anywho, Amiri King said prison politics. The former doctor for Team USA gymnasts has been stabbed multiple times at the United States Penitentiary Coleman in Florida. Larry Nassar was convicted of sexually abusing over 300 girls under the guise of medical treatment. He was attacked in the chest and back and is unfortunately in stable condition. Oh, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. As an ex-con who spent several years in some very violent prisons, I want to point something out. If you dress in panties and dance for children, you are Larry Nassar. If you talk to kids about sexuality, you are Larry Nassar. If you try to convince children they can change genders, you are Larry Nassar. Inmates don't care. Groomers are groomers, and all of them will get it equally. Pretty effing crazy when gangbaggers, killers, and thieves have a moral high ground over the progressive left, isn't it? Yeah, they don't fare well in prison at all. In Australia, they're called rock spiders in prison. People who touch children. Wall Street Apes said if it wasn't for a controlled, compromised media, this would have been the end of the deep state, Nuremberg too. That actually shows you the little explosions. Well, they're not little, they're big. That one, there's another one, looks like a few more. And debris coming out of the top. Liz Crokin said any dark truth the deep state doesn't want you to know about is labelled as a QAnon conspiracy theory, especially if it has to do with child trafficking. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, what is this thing here? Or even worse, dared to research what it is? They said and continue to say Pizzagate's conspiracy theory to this day, even with the overwhelming evidence it's real and the majority of the population waking up to the fact. So what is it about QAnon that they're so obsessed and scared of? Have you ever read one media article that actually cited one thing they posted? Why is that? If it truly was the crazy conspiracy theory they've led you to believe it is, why can't they back it up by citing at least one of the thousands of posts and prove it's wrong? It should be so easy if Q or QAnon is what the MSM claims it is. But they don't. Why is that? They are shit scared of it. They are. Seriously, they're all scared of it. Sky News Australia put me on there saying, where we go one, we go all, from Australia. And while they were doing a hit piece on QAnon. So I was on TV. Well, great. Not normal TV, that's only online and in pubs and in clubs and everywhere all over Australia, but yeah. Real Ben said, remember when vaccine mandates and passports was a conspiracy theory? Remember when digital ID and CBDCs was a conspiracy theory? Remember when mind control programs like MKUltra was a conspiracy theory? Remember when the Great Reset was a conspiracy theory? Remember when the CIA killing JFK was a conspiracy theory? Remember Operation Mockingbird was a conspiracy theory? Remember when high-level human trafficking and elite pedophile rings was a conspiracy theory? Interesting, isn't it? That's what I mean. That's why I call them spoiler alerts now. Did I share this twice, or is this something else? The CIA has been trafficking weapons, drugs, women and children and using trafficking as a means to make money and control powerful people for decades. Now it's different. The FBI have known this for decades and did nothing about it. They covered it all up. Many FBI even became traffickers themselves. They installed the current pedo-in-chief Biden and the crime family into the presidency, just like they did with Obama. Yeah, they were behind North Korea. CIA run North Korea, by the way, just in case you didn't know that. So next time you hear of North Korea trying to threaten anyone, just remember I told you that. Nine guy said, who said we didn't get counted in the census before 1967? Because of 30th of June 1933, full-blooded Aborigines, there was 60,101. Half-caste Aborigines was 20,609. The total was 80,710. So how did they know that in 1933 if they never did a census? There you go. They even go by nomadic Aboriginal. Oh, number of full-bloods, nomadic. Are nomadic or are still uncivilised or only partly civilised? Most of these people live in Western Northern Australia. The remaining full-bloods. Can't read the rest of it. There you go, they did. They counted them. KC said, in case you missed it a couple of months back, the censored video RE emerges of Pantifa in black clad, disrobing and changing into MAGA gear on Jan 6. You won't see this on MSM. I remember this. Changing their black clothing into red, blue in the bushes. At the end she yells, delete that, to the camera. This was going on, not just this one, there was numerous. You know, the people breaking windows with the black masks on and stuff like that, they weren't MAGA people. Guess who it was? Are we seeing the whole thing? Oh, here we are. The left trying to dress up as MAGA and claim they're MAGA. LT Australia said he's cooked. Eric Spracken said, holy, this is real. Let's have a listen. He's gone off again.
Included groundbreaking Asian Americans like Vera Wang and Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce right, Shanga Kawawa. Included groundbreaking Asian Americans like Vera Wang and Joan Shingang.
Wow. It's getting worse. Has he got dementia or Alzheimer's? What do you think? Okay, Severe, Foxhole Warlord, said, so slapping the QAnon sticker on Sound of Freedom didn't work. People still went to see it, so they reportedly shut off air conditioning units to try and sweat people out of theatres to keep them from seeing it. That didn't work either. The left will stop at nothing to protect their number one cause and number one moneymaker. Trafficking. If it doesn't show you how evil these people truly are, what will? Not the normal left people, I mean the people in charge of the left. Gunther Eagleman said, breaking, Biden reportedly curses at staff in private. The dementia is real. What do you reckon, dementia? Brian Ferrens said, breaking, Shasta County, California has ended their contract with Dominion. No more voting machines. Shasta is now doing hand tabulations. All counties must do this. They should. Magpie said, breaking news on 9 PM Anthony Albanese is threatened to fine Twitter for misinformation posts. Good luck with that, mate. Meanwhile in Melbourne, said Melbourne is on fire. What's going on here? Is it a bus? Looks like a bus. Who set the bus on fire? Fair Australia, powered by Advance, said meet Tila Reid, the high-profile voice campaigner, Uluru Dialogue leader and member of Anthony Albanese's Voice referendum engagement group. She's fighting to abolish Australia Day, says the Voice is about the fight for compensation reparations. According to Tila Reid, the Voice is about demolishing what she calls systems of oppression and would be so powerful it would be very difficult for government to ignore. She also talks about being a communist, or something about communism. Every Australian needs to hear directly from this important architect of the Voice to Parliament. Are you ready for this?
Hi Australia, my name is Tila Reid. I was part of the constitutional dialogue process.
Tila has been there in the heart of creating a framework for rethinking our constitution.
Referendum engagement group member Tila Reid.
You have all these remarkable people like Thomas Mayer and Tila Reid.
We have to understand this concept of the voice is the first step in redistributing power.
There does need to be these tough decisions and reparations for what First Nations peoples have lost. This notion of reconciliation, it's not enough.
The voice is a journey to begin to demolish the systems that continue to oppress us.
All these remarkable people.
What we need is to get back to these radical roots of the Communist Party. It's going to be very...
You just heard that, didn't you? Get back to the radical roots of the Communist Party, that's what she said.
Difficult once we succeed for a government to ignore this voice. It will be powerful.
Okay, as with other people, I want to see her, I would like to see her DNA results. She's got the colour going on, but a little bit, but the nose doesn't look anything like an Aboriginal. Sorry. That normally does come out in even, like, people who aren't full-blooded Aboriginal. It normally comes out with a bit of a wider nose. Wall Street Apes said formerly Reddit CEO Ellen K. Peo posted on Twitter in 2020 that she was at a party with Ghislaine Maxwell, and everyone there knew Maxwell trafficked underage girls for relations and no one did anything about it. She deleted the post, set her account to private, and blocked everyone who shared it. Everyone should be asking why these people talk about sex crimes like it's gossip. These people are literally supplying underage girls. Jeffrey Epstein was a small player. Who are the bigger players? Look to the financial institutions. And this person called Cyan said, I used to be kind of sad that I wasn't ever cool enough to get invited to some parties that people I know are invited to, but now I'm super thankful that I never accidentally had a photo of me taken with Ghislaine. And Ellen K. Powell said she was at the Kleiner holiday party in 2011, but I had no desire to meet her, much less have a photo taken with her. We knew about her supplying underage girls, but I guess that was fine with the cool people who managed tightly controlled guest list. Thomas McLeod said, wait, what? Everyone in the room knew she was a child trafficker and no one in the room objected to her presence? Yeah, you would have said something. Why is that person here, man? If she's here, I'm leaving. Illuminati Bot said, when the elite start preparing for doomsday, that is a troubling sign, and right now the elite appear to be quietly preparing for disaster. Yeah, they're running because they know they're about to be caught. Liz Crokin said, Andrew Breitbart, F you John Podesta, what's in your closet, big Podesta? He tried to warn us. Yeah, Andrew Breitbart did say that to John Podesta. He tried to warn us, very few listened. However, he paved the way for people like me, and for that reason I'll always be so grateful and have so much respect for this legend. Andrew Breitbart, ready?
This is a concerted effort. This is a concerted effort. Politics of personal destruction. Fuck you, John Podesta.
All right, will you see where I'm going?
Okay, yeah.
When I talk, that's because I am interested in this ongoing, whatever the hell they're doing.
What's in your closet, John Podesta? Big Podesta? Big Soros? Do you want us to play these games? Because we're playing to win.
And then he was murdered,
This
wasn't
is a
he?
concerted effort. This is a concerted effort. Politics of personal destruction. Fuck.
He was murdered, wasn't he? He said, interesting, all my replies are now turned off and I cannot see the responses. Experiment successful. This appears to be the image that did it. What the hell happened there? She shared this as well. Okay. Okay, another announcement from the Australian Jewish Association said that they will oppose the proposed Indigenous Voice. I'd say that they'd have to be Australian Jewish people, wouldn't they? Australian Jews, I don't know. Kevin We the People Dad said Tom Hanks' son. Do you notice anything? One eye symbolism. Part of the club. Sky News Australia said the Blue Mountains could soon be known by its traditional Indigenous name if a formal proposal gets the green light in coming weeks. I hope we're all saying, what's it going to be called? I remember hearing it. I can't remember. I'll call it Blue Mountains though. This is where I live here. Right? I'm calling it the Blue Mountains. I don't care what anyone says. They can say whatever they like. Sky News Australia also said Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has arrived in Germany ahead of the NATO summit where he will announce a $1 billion defence deal with the Germans. What's he doing? Giving the money to NATO so he can get it back in his pocket? Or giving it to Germany and then going back in his pocket? I don't know. Don Lecrae said, why did Chris Tucker go to Africa with Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey by flying on Epstein's jet on September the 2nd, 2002? Epstein was also accused of recruiting a sex slave on this trip. Why would Chris Tucker do that? Okay, same person, Dom Lecrae, said on October the 12th, 2011, BBC exposed how thousands of African children were being kidnapped and trafficked to the United Kingdom for blood rituals through occult societies and reverse aging searches. Thank goodness the mainstream media calls this a QAnon conspiracy theory and nothing more. This was in the UK, BBC. African children trafficked to UK for blood rituals. But now it's all QAnon conspiracy theory. Same again, Dom's back with breaking. Joe Biden has arrived in the United Kingdom to meet King Charles to speak on... This was ages ago. This was on Monday. Climate change, military support to Ukraine and what begins his three-nation tour, which he went to bed early on. Also, did President Trump have watch your step signs on Air Force One? Is this part of the plane though, these steps, or do they wheel the steps up to the plane? That's what I'm wondering. Or does Air Force One have its own stairs? It's two questions for you. General Mark Flynn said, yes, the storm has arrived. Now it's between competing clouds of those who awoke in the USG, pardon me, the media and the corporate world, all losing, by the way, and those who think they are taking real Donald Trump down through this fake false indictment and additional persecution. The White House, they are making him even more appealing. The Rhino establishment wants us all to move past Trump and get on with their lame attempts to govern the nation that hasn't worked for well over half a century. The Uni Party has yielded to the takeover of the communist left globalists. We the people need to rise to the occasion and start to participate in every election going on in our communities. The storm has arrived, said Grassley reveals that the foreign national who bribed Joe and Hunter allegedly has 17 audio recordings of his conversation with the Bidens, 15 with Hunter and 2 with Joe. He says they were kept by foreign national as insurance policy. Let's hear them.
So now, let me assist for the purposes of more transparency on this subject. The 1023 produced to the House committees redacted reference that the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17 such recordings. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 2 audio recordings of phone calls between him and then Vice President Joe Biden. These recordings were allegedly kept as a sort of insurance policy for the foreign national in case that he got into a tight spot. The 1023 also indicates that then Vice President Joe Biden may have been involved in bereavement employing Hunter Biden.
There you go. There's proof. Rukshan Fernando said Anthony Albanese said that the idea Katie Gallagher misled Parliament is a bizarre conspiracy theory. Interesting considering there is multiple sources of undeniable evidence, including Gallagher's own admissions. Sounds like some people in the US. Just goes to show you the government of the day will call anything they don't want the public to focus on a conspiracy theory. Yes. Lydia Thorpe reveals her plan to quit Parliament in 2028 and labels herself the Black Judge Judy in the Senate and tells Karl Stefanovic, "You're not bad for a white guy." Pretty fly for a white guy. Oh dear. Okay, can anyone else catch me up on news that I have missed? Because I'm sure I've missed a lot of stuff. Okay, where am I up to? Back. Oh, can take them out now. Okay. Back at the beginning. I'm actually back at the beginning. Alex said, so much has been happening, it's getting closer. Alex said, hope you're keeping warm, David. Out to lunch to have another case to peel, but yeah, tomorrow we cook. A case of pears. Ooh. Alex said, how's the film coming, David? Simone, how you going? David said, nearly froze to death on our last film shoot, Alex, on account of the need for continuity of clothing. Oh dear. Do you know what I did? I forgot to put half my makeup on. You probably can't tell, but I did. I actually forgot. Hey George, how you going? I am Kai, how you going? Dana, how you going? Good morning from freezing, wet Melbourne. Cuppa in bed and listening to Heb's Roundup is the only way to start today. And Mrs. Out to Lunch is in there. And Alex said, I remember you saying, actually, hope all is still on schedule for the release date, David. Alex said, beautiful hair, heavens. Oh, thank you. Kind of an 80s. I don't know. Nearly a man's. I remember a lot of young guys having this kind of haircut in the 80s as well. Dana said, love your 80s hair, Farrah Hev. No, nothing like Farrah Fawcett. Oh. The hair might be, but like, I'm nothing like Farrah Fawcett. Out to Lunch said, my baby here, yeah. Yes, Mrs. Out to Lunch is there. Fred loves Donna and Donna loves Fred, and that's what Alex has said too. I am Kai said, wife just got home, back ASAP. You're right, I am Kai. Give my love to the wife. Alex said, hopefully Tony can come on too. Yeah, Tony. Alex said, prices are rocketing here. I know. It's the same everywhere. Like petrol's gone up again and everything's gone up. It's insane. Alex said, the sooner we can all have a bit of land, the better. Mrs. Out to Lunch said, and don't forever. Donna loves Fred. We lost power for around 3.5 hours. Came on just in time for Heaven Game. Oh, lucky. Out to Lunch said, Mary's Nest on YouTube is a great channel to get off processed foods. David said, I think we're still on target to release it this year, Alex. Not many scenes left to film, maybe another 15 minutes to go. Alex said, looking forward to seeing it, David. Left us on a cliffhanger in the last one. Hey, Carl, how you going? You're late. Mrs. Out to Lunch said, we are growing more and more food every year. Good stuff. Yeah, I want to get out onto land so that I can grow food. Out to Lunch said, Carl Anthony, processed food is bad. You're caught up. There you go. Hey, Missy T, how you going? Damn it, Mandy, how you going? Alex said, my nan knew all jabs were a mass colon forever patients. Yep. I've been feeling that way for years after watching friends' children who were normal 1 minute and then weren't the next and going, what the hell happened? And working it out. I swear it's at least part of it. Selena said, hi, all just popped in for about 20 minutes. Hey, go on, Selena. Zal said, g'day, Heaven chat. Hey, going, Zal. Kevin, hey, going. Meg Aussie, hey, going. Haven't seen you for a while. Little Miss Nintendo fan, hi, Heaven, everyone. I saw Sound of Freedom on Bitchute. It's really emotional. Is it on Bitchute? Okay, I've got to try and find it. Alex said, I'm finding it hard to find words tonight. Well done to all of us who have stuck in this for so long. Can't wait until it's all over, to be honest with everyone I know. Me too. I'm cold all of a sudden. Why am I cold? It's like, what is it, about 10 to 12 degrees or something? Zal said, as Christian 21 says, everything you thought you knew as a lie has been done deliberately to confuse and convolute our history and origins. Yes. Yep. Because, I mean, even with slavery, right? Everyone talks about black slavery. No slavery is good, okay? But everyone talks about black slavery. Well, there were Irish slaves. In fact, at one point, most of the world were slaves at one point in time or another. Yeah. That's all I want to say about that. Little Miss Nintendo fan said, true about nutrients, just have to have 2 weeks of vitamin B12 jabs and then every 1 to 12 weeks. 1 every 12 weeks. Oh, cool. Little Miss Nintendo fan. Yeah, I've got to get on the B vitamin. MJ said, Alex, 100%. Selena's saying hello to Alex and all. Alex said, I know it's getting closer and closer, preparing myself for the big pop. I know. You can feel the intensity building, can't you? I mean, I felt it for a long time, but... and sure, a lot of other people have felt it for a long time too. Zal said, watch their media, business and medical quickly lockstep to do away with the evidence of the jab coof scam hoax. Yep, exactly. Out to lunch said, didn't Florida say today the jab was bio? Oh, did they? Dana says, just me or does anyone else feel conflicted about Sounds of Freedom? I want to believe it's made with pure intentions, but I see much conflicting info about Jim Caviezel and Tim Ballard. Well, it's at least enough to get people talking, okay? I did hear some people saying something about, oh, that's to bring in the digital tracking for your children. I wouldn't be on that. I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't do that to my children, okay? I don't want to track them. But it does bring up the conversation. It puts it at the front of people's minds that trafficking actually does happen. So, MJ said yes. Little Miss Nintendo fan said, got my cash, silver bars and coins, food and water, I'm ready. Sal said it's going to be a pop of biblical proportions. Alex, I'm so grateful to have everyone here to share this experience. Thank you, everyone. Stu said, hey, it's Saturday. It's great for us to be proven true, but this is a shit fight. Most people won't admit it. It's all too dark, evil. Sal said, isn't that part of the disinfo campaign, Dana? MJ said, Ballards, Mormo, family ties, but on same. I don't judge by family because awful family we all have. Alex said, one day we'll be round that campfire. I'd love that. Oh, I'm right-clicking on things. I shouldn't be right-clicking on anything. Sal said, the Anons is where all the infiltration has occurred. Well, they can try, but the truth comes out in the end anyway. But yeah, a lot of people have said, oh, they're on this side, la la la, and you can tell they're not. They make the movement look stupid, actually, some of them. Stu said, campfires burning, drawing nearer. Hey Stu, how you going? Dana said, MJ, I have seen Ballard with tie with Freemason symbols all over it. just heard like a drip or something. Was that one of my earphones? I swear I just heard like a drip, a higher, what frequency? Dana said, Zal, the lines are getting blurred. What is informed and information, disinformation? MJ said, Dana, look up Cry Wolf movie by Disney, Reddit, or movie description, cast, crew, all of it. Go to Disney movies, including posters, especially 79 through 80s. Zal said, Dana, not if you've been paying attention for a while. It's the same old script over and over. Zal said, Marx was given the script to write. He never came up with a Communist Manifesto. Alex said, hey Dana, I tried to look for it and saw a video of cinemas not allowing it and setting off the fire alarm to get people out. I think we all need to remain vigilant. Nothing is cut and dry. Simone said, Dana, I'm also sus about Ballard, etc. It's a stretch to believe he went to rebel territory where no one would go, was left unattended to kill the boss, get the girl and steer a boat in pitch dark. Dana said, that's what I think, Simone. MJ said, Ray is interesting. 33 director confirmed on September 11. Bush's, Cheney's, he would know. I think some of them have done deals to like expose not only themselves, and because we knew this from the beginning. The board told us that they would expose themselves, and that if they went along with the plan, made a deal, they would be exposing themselves in the industry they're in. If not, they'd be fighting all the way to the end. Therefore, no deal, and whatever comes your way, comes your way. Simone said, Dana, mate, I failed to walk to the bathroom without risk in the dark, lol. Alex said, I wish I could watch it to see, but I could only see a trailer. Yep. Kevin said, that's why Hev's channel is good. We can discuss and work through disinformation to find the truth. Yeah, and you guys can tell me if there's anything I've left out today on the news that you've heard, because I'm sure there is stuff that I haven't covered. Sal said, the reason why there's confusion with this voice is because there's always willing people to sell their sensibilities for gain, or as with the hive-minded leftists, have their emotions hijacked. David said, black pill is for cynics and atheists. Yep. It's like a nihilistic, that's how I put it, like a nihilistic look at things. There's no hope. That's how I kind of look at that. Also, I was watching a very interesting, what's it called? Culture something with Tim Pool. And he had this trans person on, and oh my God, you should have seen the chat going off. Because they were advocating for children being taught. And Tim let them bury themselves. He let them dig the hole deeper. He let them do it. Okay, as long as that's not Alex telling me my sound's off or something, or I have to keep checking my phone just in case something goes wrong with the stream, because Alex is going to tell me. Dana said, 1000% correct, Kevin, to work through our questions, our doubts, without getting slammed by trolls and haters. I question so much more these days and feel comfortable to express that here. Good, Dana, that's good. Because we should. Any questions, doesn't matter. We should be able to ask questions. MJ said, no. Alex said, everyone is welcome here. The only things that get deleted are bots. Yeah. Bots or people who swear too much? No. I don't care about swearing, really. If people are abusive to other people in the chat or me, yeah, they're. See you later. Alex said, everyone's welcome here. The only things that get deleted are bots. I did read that. Kevin said, it's a good group of thinkers. Sal said, don't forget to thumbs it up. Oh, thank you. Yes, please, thumbs up. Alex said, yes, I love how there are so many on the same page and we can agree to disagree, Kevin. Darren said, hey guys. George said 9/11 was an inside job. Zal said they made sure their Jews were hidden by the explosives. Sal said, beware the stooge, like that guy being interviewed by Inside. Flied by a Stew said, controlled demolition. Little Miss Nintendo fan said, I got this video. It's about the French filmmakers following a new recruit at NYPD. Oh, really? That's what that video was. Okay, cool. Sal said they used stooges and plants like the Harley guy and a load of others to make you believe planes hit the towers. Yep. Out to lunch said all the people that day were exposed to stuff in the air, but they were told all is okay. Yes, exactly. How many of them died of cancer? Pat said, that's why they called it ground zero. That's where the explosion was. MJ said, compare, contrast, going on a lot. Out to lunch said, I've tried to send 40, Hev, happy late, hope it goes through. Where did you try and send it through to? Hang on. Just let me check Stripe. Yep. It's come through in Stripe. There you go. Thank you. Out to lunch, thank you. Appreciate that. God love you. MJ said she is native, more than likely already here and doesn't even know it. And Pat, how you going? Zal said, a smoking ceremony should not be used for any of the applications they're using it for. Traditionally, it was used so anyone going onto country that has had ceremony could be smelt by the spirits. Wow. MJ said, ironic backdoor pardon for him. Dull. Pat said, I have had flu but good now. Hope you're well too, Alex. MJ said, rock spiders describes them quite well. Yeah, they're like spiders crawling over the children. Have you checked the children? That was a bad movie, that. Okay, Simone said, rock spiders don't fare well, so they pretend they're females to go to women's prisons. Yes. That's a very good point, Simone. Are some of them doing it because they're perverts and they don't want to go to male's prison because they know what's going to happen when they get there? Alex said, Millstone. Sal said, did anyone see Jack White's rant against Trump? No. But I hear he's a TDS. He's got TDS really bad. Trump derangement syndrome. Is that White Stripes bloke? You can tell me if it is. I'm not sure if it is or not, though. I heard it was, but I don't know. Alex said, no, mate, was it any good? MJ said, well. Zal said it showed White to be a mindless zombie left-hard. There you go. MJ said these SOBs have been at it for a long time. Alex said, I don't like any of them. Zal said his rant was also about being directed against Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson as well, calling them out for their support of the Sound of Freedom. Ooh. Out to lunch said, Stripe is wanting me to use PayPal. I don't know. You probably might be better off going through Streamlabs out to lunch, to be honest. Streamlabs, the first one. The first link. It's up to you, but yeah. If anyone does, the first link is the best link to donate through. It's https://streamlabs.com. But it did go through out to lunch. I believe it did go through. Alex said, we're in the midst of the biggest storm ever. Yep. George said, Biden's a joke. Sal said, is someone playing Biden in a bodysuit mask? So I often think it is. Pat said, too much coke for Joe. MJ said, I'm trying to figure it out, Sal, but I don't know. It is weird, but who is clean from Hollywood? Out to lunch said, I'd like to see Biden put a two-piece puzzle together. Yeah. I don't think he'd be able to do it. Alex said Biden's been long gone. He was lobotomised along with many of them. Boom. Alex said the silent people are waking. George said it's about time, Alex. Alex said it's only a matter of time now. We're on the tip of the balance and everyone can feel it. Yep. There only has to be a certain amount before the scales tip. Dana said, I hope you're right, Alex. I hope you're 1,000,000% correct. Alex said, I know, we all know, Dana. Yep, deep down we all know. Most amazing experience we're living in and all coping through. Alex said, we just have to believe that we can all fight back and there are far more of us than them. Yep. Alex said, I will die fighting. Yep, me too. I'm not going down without a fight. Where was I up to? It jumped. Okay, I've got it. MJ said, Alex, haven't seen Xena on lately. Hope she's okay. Yeah, hope Xenotron's okay. And Dealey and... There's a lot of people. MacJ and all these other people. I hope they're all right. Alex said, you are right. MJ sending love and prayers to Xena and everyone who's managed to get this far. Out to lunch said, didn't Trump say they said something about a shorter stairs in belly of AF1? I don't know. MJ said, Chuck, love that name. Okay. Darren said, how much proof do they need before they act? They've got to get them all. That's the problem. So I think that's why it's taking so long. They're not letting anything go by at all. They're getting the evidence as this is happening. Flyby Stew said that's where the chucking it done come from. Lol. Alex said, sometimes it's nice to listen, so much for me saying I couldn't think of any words. You all inspire me to keep going. Good on you, Alex, that's the way. Alex said, hey Darren and Debbie. Hey Darren and Debbie, how you going? Out to lunch said, Peaches Hev with a heart-shaped butt. Out to lunch said, a mullet? Kind of. No, not quite. It's not a mullet. It's I don't know. I don't know what it is. MJ said, Hev, yep, the soft feathered looks great. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my daughter said it the other day. I went down when I was taking the children down there, and she said, your hair looks like an 80s hairstyle. It's nice. I didn't know whether she was just saying that to be nice or not. No, she'd tell me if it looks shit. Alex said, cool, I didn't see that comment. I'll try and find it. Not been on Bitchute for months. MJ said, digital tracking like hell. George said, I could not find Sound of Freedom on Bitch. Oh. Alex said, not sure if this is it. George said, yeah, that's it, Alex. Not a good copy. Alex said, cool, I'll add it properly. Thanks, George. Darren said, only got the trailer from the link, Alex. Alex said, no, it's the only one I could find for now. Anyone has a better copy, please add it into the comments. I'm wondering if... I wonder if Odysee would have it on there. Hang on one sec. Have I got Odysee in here? No, I have to type it in. Hang on a sec. That's the only other place I could think of that doesn't get censored that it might be on. Odysee. Give me a sec. Just thinking about it. Thinking. Nope. I got Sounds of Nature, sound therapy session. Nope. Nope. There's a Sound of Freedom 9-second clip from Anonymous from 4 years ago, and it's Marines shooting. I don't know. But no, it's not even on Odysee. I don't know. And they won't show it in Australia, so I don't even know where to go to get Sound of Freedom. Hey Shannon, how you going? MJ said, I trust people who swear they're found to be more truthful. Oh dear, I swear a lot more than what I do on here. Shannon said, sorry I'm late, didn't get to bed till 4 a.m. Oh, hey Michelle, hey Shannon. MJ said, on time Shannon, you work hard. Out to lunch said, no, it's from us. Shannon said, I bet I missed lots of good stuff. Darren said, but it's only 1:30 a.m, Shannon. Michelle Epps said, hello, Alex. Out to lunch said, you're welcome. Carl said, don't let me down. Bruce. Is that what you were doing? Like that song? Oh, shoot. Okay, where am I up to? Yep. Shannon said, no, I finished at midnight, had a couple of bourbons and drove some big rigs across the USA in American Truck Simulator. Yep, my son plays that too, Shannon. He loves it. He's getting to know the USA. Like, it's like real, is it real streets on the US, in the US? Shannon said, WA is always late, lol. MJ said, I love the bird noises. Shannon said, Hev's under attack from dive-bombing Stutkers. What are they? There's lots of birds out there today, actually. We've got beautiful coloured rosellas, which are red and blue and green, and oh, they're beautiful. And we've got a turkey still out there. And we've got magpies. I've even had cockatoos come down. The white ones with the yellow little... Yep, even them. Alex said, here are a couple of beautiful uplifting songs for everyone. Deb said, hello, beautiful people. Hello, Deb. How you going? Alex said, Brainheart, explore the world, featuring Sis. MJ said, Deb. Hey, Deb. Darren said, what about the rest of us, Deb? So Deb's listing everyone's name. Out to lunch said, yes, he said it. MJ said, Chuck, my grandpa's name. What's up, Chuck? Up, Chuck. Pascal, I can't even say that. Okay, Pascal with friendships lost my love. Shannon said, they got one shot at this. Timing is everything. Exactly. Darren said, damn, my watch has stopped. Deb said, 10:15 Adelaide, not moist. MJ said, Darren, take it as a sign. Out to lunch said, Bad News Bears movie and that girl in it. I forgot her name. Hev's hair. Bad News Bears movie and that girl in it. Her the same hair as me. Is that right? Deb said, hey Shannon. Darren said, a sign that I'm living in the past, MJ. Shannon said, moistness report. I'm about to have a shower. Help me wake up properly. Okay, Alex said, hopefully there's a better copy because they're really trying to keep that film from coming out, especially in cinemas. Yeah, well, they don't even have any signs of it coming out in Australia at all. No one knows when it might come out or if it's going to come out, or it better bloody come out. I need to clean my glasses. Oh, that's better. I can see. Hopefully there's a better copy because they're really trying to keep it out of cinema. Yeah, cinemas. Shannon said, has anyone here watched Sound of Freedom? Yet it's not on here. Alex said, I think I'm done. Deb said, hey, out to lunch. MJ said, love music, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Alex said, I love music. I find it so freeing, MJ. Dolores said, hi, all Sound of Freedom is only in theatres right now. Yeah, it's not in Australian theatres, though. We can't watch it in Australian theatres. MJ said, no, Darren, don't look back. Pat said, hi, Deb. Dolores said, I saw it last weekend. Alex said, in the UK, Darren. Leisha said, I've been seeing good clips of Sound of Freedom on Facebook, but every time I try and share it, no one sees it. Facebook are bad for censorship. How you going, Leisha? George said, no, I'm not sure if it will be released in UK cinemas. Deb said, Sound of Freedom will come. There's a lot of people trying to stop the Sound of Freedom. Out to lunch said, Tatum O'Neill, right? MJ said, what did you think, Dolores? Shannon said, yep, I'd play it just to see the sites I purchased. Or the DLC for Omega, your son. Yes. Thank you, Shannon. God love you. He said you did, and gave him some other games as well. I've got I feel like I've got a cat hair on my nose. Alex said, no one can stop the truth coming out. It's coming out thick and fast. It sure is. Deb said, hi, Pat. Alex said, everyone needs to cancel their BBC licence if they still have one. Haven't watched TV for so long and it's refreshing. George said, I will download it when I can. Out to lunch said, or was it Little Foxes with, I don't know. George said, I've not brought a TV licence in many years, Alex. Deb's waving at Dolores. Alex said, I haven't had one for about 15 years and don't plan to fund pedos anytime soon. I don't blame you, Alex. Deb said, hey, Michelle, and Alex said, hey, Dolores. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. It's been 1:44, and I am going to go. because my nose is running and I better go and catch it. Oh dear. Anyway, guys, look, I will try and be back tomorrow, see what I can find of news updates, and I'll also try and be back on Monday. How's that sound? Sounds all right? Cool. Oh no, we're out of comments. Dolores said, the film was very well done, rated G, soft disclosure to a normie world. I cried, but because I know the whole story. Shannon said, more BBC pedos being, well, even Disney. There's people in Disney being exposed. There's a lot being exposed right now. I don't even think I can keep up with it, even if I tried. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and have a look and bookmark anything I can find and come back tomorrow, possibly. Yeah, with more information if I can find more. And I'm also working on a Finders video, which I might do live. I'm just working on getting all the information together so that we can discuss the Finders. So look out for that soon. I don't know when, but I'm doing all the research now, so it might take a little while. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Much love, guys. Bye.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going in life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago.